Jim, I just wondered if you could give your perspective on, what, although the different Occupy movements have their own nuances, overall, what do you see that they're doing right? Where do you see room for improvement and clarification? And, how closely are they adhering to those three principles? From your perspective about how things can be made more effective than they already are.
Good question.
Well, it's as far as I can see, and I have visited with people from Denver and Boston and Wall Street actually in the last month, and then people from Oakland have been in conversation with me, and people also from LA. So. And I've read a number of the press reports and all. Number one, of course, is the Occupy Wall Street movement came as a surprise for everyone, which sometimes is how a significant struggle gets started. But we have to remember that most of the time, any significant struggle has a history of preparation that precedes it that we may not always know about. Secondly, the Occupy Wall Street has carried out what I call a part of the theory of how a movement comes about, in that Occupy Wall Street began, and now we have significant groups like this scattered around the country and around the world, which represents the fact that what Occupy Wall Street started was in sync with where many people are around the country and around the world. Thirdly, their emergence has meant the extent to which there has been a hearing or reporting, it has meant that the public conversation about the country has changed. I won't say decisively changed, but the different polls have indicated that a large majority of Americans think that they have an important point, which of course startles Ann Koltic and some of the people around the country. It's a complete surprise to them, you see. And that perhaps is the most significant thing so far from the Occupy effort. At the same time, the various encampments give us a good picture of what some of the possibilities for vision and community are. And it's interesting that so many of the groups reflect something of the same vision. The ideas that they express are new to some people in the United States. Participatory democracy, consensus, everyone being a leader, the nonviolent elements that many have taught, and then there are many others. So that's my impression about it. A lot of talk about, well, this is the 21st century movement. It's too soon to tell that. I think that as Christmas approaches, the Occupy groups, the encampments, will be evacuated by powers that be, a combination of forces. It seems to me that this would be a good time for there to be pretty heavy strategic analysis that would allow for a strategic redirection in order maybe to make more contacts with the 99%. escalate the possibilities of struggle. It seems to me also that along with that effort, there has to come a determination that the folk who advocate revolution from a perspective of violence or its efficacy must be greatly challenged and urged to leave, so that the movement can develop a unity of a nonviolent discipline and strategy. Any American who's playing with the notion of violent struggle in a violent culture is basically, in my mind, out of their cotton picking mind. It wasn't possible in the 60s, and it hasn't suddenly now become possible. And every stone thrown gives the media and the city people who want to do it the opportunity to say, I told you so, they're not serious.